Hey, this is Lawrence from FinancialThing.com. Today I have a very special guest coming to you live and direct from Gravesend in the United Kingdom. It is Peter Wilkins, asset manager from Kuflink. We're going to have a quick Q&A session and find out what's going on with his job role and what he does over at Kuflink. How are you doing today, Peter?
I'm very well, Lawrence. It's a pleasure to have you on. Yes, everything's good here in sunny England.
Sunny England.
Yeah,
Those two words don't usually go together, but
not normally, no.
I'm glad. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for being here. And we're to talk about asset management and what you go through over at Kuflink today. So, first question is, when did you join Kuflink and what is your official role over there?
Okay, so I joined Kuflink June 2020 on the tail end of coming out of COVID lockdown, and came to Kuflink as the asset manager and to look after really the development side of the business, as my history and experience is in the construction industry, always has been. So that's where the knowledge comes from.
And what can you tell me a little bit about what you did before you joined Kuflink and how did you come to join them?
Okay, so I've been in the construction industry for the best part of around about 30 years. I've worked for one of the major direct shareholders, for a majority of that time. Throughout the period, we started off very small with a few refurbs, and we went into house constructions and then major ground up construction, residential dwellings, expanded in the prime into sort of like industrial units, large conversion projects that we've had, and all across the board, from small all the way up to large, unusual listed building, English heritage buildings, barn conversions, swimming pools. We've covered a lot together.
Wow.
A lot together. So, but most of my experience is hands-on from when I left school into college, out of there and onto brickwork and groundwork, right the way through to the later years before lockdown was actually running the site. So kind of the body had had enough.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
very kindly onto running the sites and done numerous amounts of courses, health and safety, and basically took control of the sites and run them.
So
Control
you were working with, so am I understanding you were working with the Cufflink guys before they were the peer-to-peer Cufflink, or when you said
Absolutely.
directed? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay. So you've seen the whole thing from start to
From
from the
start to
start.
finish, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So the offices that you have been to, when you visited in Gravesend, was designed and built, by my team and the architects before
Oh,
COVID.
that's
So,
super interesting.
yeah.
And did you have any knowledge of peer-to-peer lending before Cufflink embarked on that journey?
I had a little knowledge of how peer-to-peer worked, but never really understood the concept enough to study it, enough to invest, which has changed now. Um,
Yeah. What do you think about when Cufflink guys came to you and said what they were doing? Did you think, oh, this is pretty cool, or did you think it was a bit crazy?
No, I thought it was exceptionally interesting and kind of hooked on the concept of this. So Cufflink was up and running whilst I was still out, whilst I was on site, and I was, should I say, an investor prior to coming into Cufflink. So yes, the concept was excellent. Ticked all the boxes for me, and yeah, love the property backed part of the deals. It's UK property backed. Why not? It's development as
And
well.
so
So
you weren't investing in peer-to-peer lending before
no,
Cufflink at all, and so it was completely brand new to you.
completely brand new to me. I had heard of it, didn't really understand the concept, but once Cufflink was up and running, yeah, obviously studied it from a personal point of view, and then yeah, I was
Yeah.
away.
So Peter, what do your day-to-day duties look like over there when you enter the office in the morning? What do you typically deal with on a day-to-day basis?
So a majority of my work is, like I say, on the development side. All the drawdowns that come in to Cufflink will come in via myself. So a client requires a drawdown for funds, it will come into me. Most of them are done by myself unless I'm on annual leave or there is a huge amount that come in. I might get 4, 5, 6 a day, maybe more. When the sites are running easily and correctly, they're reasonably easy to get through. So we will have the independent surveyors that are out on site. They're all on our panel. They will deal directly with the client to analyse the drawdown, which the client believes that they've completed. Yes, they will approve what's being done and certify the amount which are coming to me and the team, and then we will do an internal review on that to cross-check what they are claiming. Majority of the surveyors, if the client is X amount of money that they believe they've done, the surveyors will cross-check it there, and it may well be reduced, the amount, and then it comes into us, and like I say, we cross-check it again. So, and my communication with the clients all the way through the build process is like a one-to-one, so to speak. I have my own set of clients which I deal with. Just checking that things are continuing as planned and as they should be, and trying to foresee any possible future problems, hold-ups that might happen within the development industry. So that's my day-to-day period on that. And then they generally come in. I will let the board know of the estimate of money that's come into my drawdowns for the daily amount, let them know that this is what has landed on my desk. It may well take me the day to get through them. It may well take me 2 days to get through them. It may well take me 5 days, depending on what comes in. So they are aware of the funds that I am anticipating to release over the next few days.
So you're like the gatekeeper of the bank accounts, basically.
I'm the early bird that will say to the board, okay, so within the next 2 days, 5 days, what I'm sitting on is £750,000, £500,000, £250,000. That's what I anticipate. The surveyors are generally on point. Mm-hmm. So, but every now and then it may well get reduced.
So do you ever actually do job site inspections, or is that? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, so actually visiting sites is a very enjoyable part of the job. I'm not saying the rest of the job's not enjoyable. Very enjoyable part of the job is going to sites and seeing these developments, for your own eyes. I have been asked to do drawdowns while I'm on site. I won't do the drawdowns. That is what the surveyors are for. They are there to check all the paperwork, all the work that's being done. Some of these sites are quite big. You might only get a limited amount of photographic evidence and information, and you might just want to go there yourself just to have a look. But yes, I do travel up and down the country. I am looking at going out probably within the next 2 weeks. A round trip for 2 days. I may well do between 10 and 15 sites within those 2 days, and then do my own internal reports when I come back. It's very good to meet the clients. It's very good to meet the workforce. I don't always give them a lot of notice. I've never been declined. They're always happy to see me, and it's always happy to see how a site is actually running from my point of view when it's fully loaded. So it's a very, very enjoyable part of the job, and to meet the customers as well.
And so you're, I presume, pretty involved in the loan when it's going through application. I'm sure that gets run by you. So what type of things are looked at by you when you're assessing a loan deal that are important?
Okay, so all the loan applications will go to the underwriting team. So they have their own team that will, theoretically underwrite and assess all this loan. They will come to me if there is part of the development loan that they would want my input, my review. My initial things that I would be looking for if it did come to me would obviously a loan term period, the loan to value, the client's history. The build schedules and the build costs are exceptionally important to see whether the project can actually be done in that time on roughly that price as well, that costings. The chartered surveyors will also have their input on that, so we will work together. Build schedules. They're generally very tight, and you do need to take into account of the weather in this country, whereabouts in the country you're going to be, what time of year they're going to run these schedules with the groundworks, where they running groundworks in the winter, etc., etc. And it does, I may well go back to the underwriting team and say, my opinion is that loan that they've come in with a 12-month schedule, I believe it's going to be around about the 13, 14 months. It will be bounced bound with the surveyors as well. That's really what we're looking for, because we do not want to get to the end of the term and then find out that we're delayed for something that can be seen. But it's, these things come with experience that you can see. So that's my main part, to look at the loans. But the underwriting team are exceptionally good, and they know this anyway. So, we have had a few challenging ones that have come to us that did through sort of like building a house off the edge of a cliff, and you'll be surprised. And some of those things, it's just, it is an architect's dream, but it's might not be, what's good.
Not the safest thing for investors to be investing in.
It might be something that we may well walk away from on that side.
Okay, and so once a loan is approved by the underwriting team and kind of given the green thumbs up from you, what does the drawdown process look like? How long does it take from the time somebody's given the thumbs up on the loan for them to get that first drawdown, and then how do the drawdowns work after that?
Okay, so normally a client will have the day one funds released, which is, as it states, day one, so the moment the loan goes live. Now, whether that's to pay off the first legal charge, or if it's unencumbered, we may well lend amount of money on it to like kickstart their development, so to speak. That's only if it's unencumbered. So, we've always got to be sort of like in front of them behind them on the funding. So on the development funding, with the development loans we've got, they generally come in, a drawdown will come in about once a month to 6 weeks on a site. Now, this really depends on how much they can fund themselves, because we do not forward fund on development. So if they've done works on site, say for £100,000, they would call in one of our surveyors. Surveyor would go in, check the works have been done up to the value of £100,000, check that they've got invoices, all the rest of it. Then they would certify the drawdown for £100,000, which would come through to me. I would then look through that, look through the site, look through the build schedule, make sure things are being ticked off. Certain drawdown, certain stages on the development side have got to be done, and then we would release the money. So if the client has larger pockets, he may well be able to run to £250,000 or even £500,000 before a drawdown and go 6 to 8 weeks. If they're not, if their pockets are not that deep, they may only go to 20,000 or 30,000. But every time they call a surveyor in, they are paying for that surveyor. If they're not if they do have large amount of funds and they don't call us in within sort of like 6 weeks, I will generally go and see them on site, because our surveyors that go there once a month will feed back information, photographs, etc., and make sure that they're our eyes and ears out on site, that everything is running as programmed. But like I say, if we don't hear from them for about 6 weeks, we will make an appointment. We will go and see them. Then we can do our own internal review for anyone that needs a bit of feedback on it.
When you said we will go see them, you sounded like somebody out of one of those gangster movies that we will go see them. They don't.
We will go see them. We will keep eyes on them. Yes, we won't just let these sites disappear. They are constantly we are in touch with them. They are diarised that if a drawdown, like I say, if something's not come in, yes, it does pop up that we haven't heard.
I know we spoke a little bit about the monitoring, the site monitoring. So it sounds like the surveyors do quite a lot of site monitoring, and then Kuflink kind of backs that up by sending you sometimes to go view the sites. How many times would you say on average that you, through a 12-month period, would go visit one of these loan development sites?
Okay, so I generally get out. I'd like to get out 2 days a month. If I'm going See, we're based in Kent, so if I'm going up near Liverpool, Bradford, somewhere like that, it's a few hundred miles away, I will go out on a 2 or 3 day trip. Primarily to go and see a couple of large sites, not necessarily that there's any problems or issues, just to go and see them. But I think the last time, I'm planning on going out in about a week or so. The last time I went out, I think on 2 days I looked at 10 to 12 sites in 2 days. So that's traveling up and traveling back, hotel out at night. 2 very long days. But yeah, you can gain a lot of information. So I would say the average, if you go over a 12-month period, I might go, I might see in the region of about 80 sites over the 12-month period.
Wow.
Some of them will be repeat.
So just to kind of depends on how the project's going. You may go to some of the projects several times. You may go to some of them just a couple of times. Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of them are small, some of them are huge, and that they're moving at such a pace as well. So it is good to go and see these, and obviously it helps with customer relations and repeat business. If everyone can complete on time and get out and get rid of their asset or get to their exit, let's go again.
That's what we want, the exit.
That's it. Well, absolutely. It's all about the exit.
Absolutely. And then finally, Peter, so I don't want to keep you long because I know you got to get on that phone and make sure these developments are good. What's something about asset management that maybe we don't know about that you do or that might surprise us?
May surprise you. Well, as just mentioned there, we do go to site. So we will go to site. We will give the sites a reasonable amount of time to let them know that we're coming. And I've only been stopped on one site, and that was because I didn't get. I was actually driving past, and I wasn't planning on going there, and I thought I'll take a chance, and I went there, and they're all out at lunch. There was only one lad there, and quite rightly he said to me, "Look, no one's here. I can't really let you in." It was a very small site, so but everything else we can pop up. We do go to site, and we are there to help everyone. We're here for the client. If we request information, it's for the updates. It's to make sure the exit can be achieved. We're not. Some people might think we're asking too much. Stage sign off, inspections from building control, but all of this is needed for the end. So, everything we do is for the good of the site and the company to achieve the exit. We're not the enemy.
Right.
And once they meet us, they're very happy to work with us, and we do get very, very good relationships with our customers as well, our clients.
Terrific. Okay, so there you have it. That is Peter Wilkins, the asset manager at Kuflink. Thank you very much for taking the time, Peter, to kind of explain some of these things that people may not know about that goes on inside of Kuflink and the peer-to-peer lending business. So appreciate your time and keep up the good work.
Thank you very much, Lawrence, and I appreciate you calling. Much
Absolutely.
appreciated. Yeah.
Okay.
Great stuff.
Take care.
Many thanks. Thank you. Bye-bye.